Hey, this is Hardline, Destructoid's video game news podcast. I'm Jordan Devore, and I'm joined today by Hamza Aziz. He's dancing.
I don't know why I'm dancing.
I don't know how you have this energy.
I don't know either.
We'll get to that in a minute. And also, Brett Makedonski's here.
Yo.
Same thing with him. Like, you two went to E3 last week. I was home. I mean, it's exhausting no matter where you are. It's worse if you're there, but my God, what a week.
What a week.
Yeah. And Brett is on he's just drinking juice now. I have to talk about this because this is
here we go.
So are you doing it because like for a specific reason after E3? Does it have to do with E3 at all? Or are you just like, I'm going to try it?
Yeah, no, I came back from LA and felt super fucking gross. And and I've kind of always wanted to try it, but I figured it was a good time to give it a shot. And I hate everything.
Well, that's actually relevant then. I'm glad because the food at these things is just not good. It's not good. It's not good for you.
Typically it's not. And then when we kind of, between things, when we go and pick up food ourselves, we usually don't find the greatest of food there either. So
yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I had barbecue at Devore Digital every day. I'm pretty sure Mike Wilson gave me the stink eye by the third day, but whatever. It was free food.
And there was a lot of alcohol consumed also. And yeah, it just felt super gross coming back from LA and breathing smog and the pee air. And
I felt the best ever this time around. I think part of it is because I left Friday instead of like killing a couple days there. But yeah, I felt fine.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Aren't you a champion?
Well, it was my 73, so.
My gosh.
Pro level 6, actually 6, because okay, well, I snuck into E3 2007 with 10 minutes left to go.
That doesn't count.
What did you even do? What did you even accomplish in that 10? What could you accomplish in that 10 minutes? Do you remember?
The fact that I could say I entered E3 2007. This is when they moved to the Santa Monica hangars and everything. I was down there because
that's right.
EIEIO, which no one will remember, but this was like the anti E3 conference that was taking place by an indie company that has since died. Gamecock, rest in peace. Anyways, let's talk about current events.
We should. So this episode's probably going to be like really loosely structured. We don't really have a game plan here. I thought we could just talk about whatever kind of popped up, but we should probably start with I guess just like the big three conferences. I thought, so it was Microsoft, then Sony, then Nintendo on Tuesday with their event. And of the three, I mean, I don't know if we're going to agree on this, but I really like Nintendo's format this year. You guys?
I actually didn't get a chance to watch Nintendo's, so I can't really weigh in on that.
Okay.
I was writing, and our home team had everything covered. So
it was basically one of their Nintendo Directs, but longer.
Yeah, I mean, I heard everything that came out of it. I just didn't get a chance to see it myself. Yeah.
I think all three did pretty stellar jobs. I mean, Microsoft promised games after games after game at their conference.
Sexy Max Scoville in the background.
PlayStation had a lot of good surprises. They kind of dragged on towards like the near end of it.
Towards like the second hour.
Yeah, because they had to be like, oh, we're doing TV shows now too, because Netflix and then Nintendo had like just bomb after bomb after bomb. But while I think all three were pretty good conferences, I especially feel with Nintendo that we saw a lot of cool things, but all those cool things are 2015 cool things.
There was someone crunched the numbers and made some pie charts of like what all for all three conferences, what all is coming out this year versus next year, and it seemed like there was actually a good amount coming this year. But I agree, it certainly felt like all of the stuff we really wanted is next year, and that's
did we post that?
I don't know where I saw that. It might have been on NeoGAF or something, but
we should post that.
We should post that. That's useful information, probably.
It's especially today with it being a dry day, but yeah.
I do. I think I am pretty much of the same opinion that all three were really pretty watchable. I mean, again, Sony's was a little long, but they have a lot. They seem to want to cover a bunch of bases with theirs, so whatever, it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, Sony's still in a position where like we don't have to like do what Microsoft did, where they have to like make up for their lackluster performances.
Which they did a pretty good job of making up, I thought.
Yeah, no, they definitely did.
I felt like I got to watch Monday's conferences, and I felt like Sony's highs were higher than Microsoft's, but their lows were also lower.
That's a really good way of putting it. I mean, yeah, we could, for that, we might as well just start talking specifics. I mean, Bloodborne, like, even though it leaked out ahead of time, I kind of wish it hadn't, just because that would have been a great surprise. But that was a real. I bet you they're pretty happy having that on PS4 exclusively.
I think they learned a lesson after Demon's Souls.
You would, I would hope so. It seems pretty obvious that people are into those games. So
yeah, I mean, kudos to Sony even giving who was it at the time? Atlas? Was it Demon's Souls that was published by Atlas and Sony?
I think that's right.
Yeah, well, regardless, the whole situation for Sony even attempting, and then unfortunately they realized too late that, oh, shit, people really are into this, and then, you know, Namco took over and everything. But no, I mean, I think that it's interesting with the whole company, because after Kawa bought them out, like, I don't know, they could go anywhere right now, and they at least have Bloodborne, which will do well for Sony, and then they also have Deep Down. No, wait, that's Capcom. Sorry, okay, so I'm not really recovered from E3 as well as I thought I was.
Yeah.
They're all starting to like blend together to me.
I will not be surprised if there's just like straight up another Dark Souls with that name.
I mean, it's a brand. It's a brand now. It's an IP.
Yeah.
People are more familiar with Dark Souls as a household name than over Demon's Souls or Bloodborne or Deep Down. So for Namco to not do another one.
Oh, that's loud.
Steven, yes, Steven's in. We're going live, Steven. So like, let's do this thing.
We just started.
Cool.
But like, I'm looking at our list of what Sony had, what announcements they made, and really that was the main thing. I mean, they showed Mortal Kombat X, they showed Far Cry 4. That was cool to see those. And there's Grim Fandango's coming back. That's neat, but I don't know.
Uncharted.
Yeah, but that teaser was such like that should have been the first teaser. What we got this year should have been the first teaser we ever had for the game. I
mean, that's the most typical Uncharted trailer teaser that you could possibly give. Like, they're all that. It wasn't this new thing.
Skinnier, and it had nice graphics as always. Like,
yeah, but it's still maybe PlayStation's biggest IP.
It is. It is.
I mean, it's huge.
To be fair, nobody could figure out how to properly end a show this year. I mean, Microsoft ended with, "Hey, we're making Crackdown 3."
Microsoft's was really weird. It was really.
I don't even remember.
It was just a teaser for Crackdown 3, and that's it. And that's like their big game.
Good luck with Crackdown 3. I'm still waiting for Saints Row, which will trounce on whatever they're trying to do with Crackdown.
Well, I will say the Crackdown, they didn't really. I mean, they hinted at this in the whatever that was, that trailer, but there's going to be crazy levels of destruction apparently, so that could be cool. But it's still going to be probably a lot like Crackdown, the last two.
Another Red Faction replacement.
I hope so. I've never gotten my replacement Red Faction Gorilla. Nothing's really topped that I've seen.
I sat down with a Microsoft executive, and he said that Crackdown is going to be like a landmark title for showing what cloud computing can do.
Okay.
I hope it is, because they've been like touting cloud in really weird and mysterious ways. So I want to see it actually come to fruition in like here's the hard evidence of what it's doing.
I just want to keep using that old man yells at cloud Simpsons image.
Yes, you should. I mean, anything else that stood out to you for Microsoft? I'm looking at the list now.
What stood out to me?
Halo is the big thing, I guess. But
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, what stood out to me was the fact that they brushed over Halo 5. Like they talked about the Halo Master Chief Collection briefly, and then they're like, "Yep, Halo 5 is coming. There's a beta. Peace out."
My favorite thing is that it doesn't matter at all that they brushed over Halo 5, because with that Halo Master Chief Collection and with the cheaper Xbox, you know they just sold a hell of a lot of consoles.
Honestly,
to a lot of people.
Yeah. I totally agree, and I didn't think I was that into Halo, but that collection is like, that's a pretty good package, I have to say. Not that I'm going to go out and get an Xbox One, but I'm sure there are plenty of people who would, just with that game alone and Halo 5 when that comes out.
I know like 10 people at least that are going to do that now. Like,
I was surprised by like seeing the Halo 2 HD compared to what it used to look like. I'm like, oh god damn! Like,
yeah,
the old game looked really ugly now.
Yeah, so apparently they're kind of giving Halo 2 sort of the anniversary treatment, so to speak. They're going to go a little bit further with that one than they are other ones, I guess. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the multiplayer too. That's a big thing. Being able to play that on a modern system.
Have they talked about what engine they're using for multiplayer yet, though?
Like, I feel like they said something along the lines of it will be the same. Like, it'll play exactly the same. I don't know how or what the specifics are.
You're right about that, Jordan. They are going to play exactly the same as they did when they came out, but I don't know what engine they're going to use to accomplish that. I don't really understand how that works.
It's probably mind-blowing how they're going to make that happen if it's looking the way it does.
They can't use each individual engine for that. That wouldn't work at all. Like I feel like they're just going to rely on the Halo 4 engine here.
Which is what I'm getting at here. Like, if that is the case, which it might be, getting it to run exactly the same and play and feel the same way. My God, I don't think. No. Who knows? Someone
really
will be like, this is slightly off. It's not quite right, but
yeah, because there's so many variables there. Because each multiplayer felt so different, and they're saying you can play on all 100 maps or whatever, and I will see.
I don't like. Yeah, again, it's an impressive package that if they can get it to work as promised. But Scalebound, that was the other big thing, I guess. The new Platinum games. I don't even really know what it is, honestly.
Here's the thing. Like, if it's a trailer like that, I don't care. I have stopped caring about shit like that. I need to see what it actually looks like, because you can't. I mean, we've gotten to that point where, like, we can't get tricked anymore. We've done this for so long that, like, we're not gonna fall for this bullshit hype. That's cool. Platinum's making a new game. They make really good games usually. I don't know what this game's all about, so I don't care right now.
It's Monster Hunter, sponsored by Beats by Dre.
Hot.
I
don't even know what to say to that.
We didn't get to see any gameplay, but at least we still have an idea of the concept, and the concept looks cool enough so far. It has my attention until they want to show more.
Is it really like Monster Hunter, though, Steven?
No one knows.
Okay, because I thought it was like you have a single dragon that you use. I thought I heard that, but I don't know.
Scale bound to the scale.
Bound to one.
Dragons have scales.
But Nintendo had lots of things I cared about personally, like Yoshi. Did you guys play that? Yoshi's Woolly World. You did, Steven.
When he runs and you get some momentum, his feet turn into little wheels.
I think that happened to Kirby too.
It did, and I was just gonna say that, but it's still cute. So.
Yeah, but he also gets propeller feet when he does this little hoverfly jump thing.
Yeah. Now that reminds me of Tearaway, in that they went all in with the material-based aesthetic, so everything is adorable and great.
Mm-hmm. Any chance to talk about Tearaway, huh, Steven?
Yeah. Take it.
Go buy Tearaway. It's on sale for Vita on this PlayStation Store.
Between that and Kirby's Curse of...
And the
Kirby's Clay Curse.
I already forgot the name, because when Chris wrote the story, he had it wrong, so now I'm like... he had the name slightly off, and now I can't remember the actual name.
Just call it Clay Kirby.
Nightmare of the Canvas Curse.
Something
like that.
Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, that's what it is.
Rainbow Curse.
I mean, I refuse to call that Yoshi game Yoshi's Woolly World because it should just be called Yoshi's Yarn. Like, come on.
I like Yoshi's Yarn better as a name, I think, but
I think I just want to differentiate. You know, keep Kirby with his yarn, and this is more woolly. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
It doesn't really matter. I will say though that I think I actually like the Kirby's games art better. When it was first announced, so like the way some sort of behind the scenes insight, the way we cover these press conferences or any live events like this is we have like a team in a chat room and we are on like a rotation basically, and we'll be like, you do it, Hamza's writing this, go as fast as possible, try and get it up and not have it be terrible. And we do that, and then we like make it not shit after the fact if we can. But so like I was working on a different story when the Kirby announcement came out, and I don't know if my stream was like low quality or what, but it just looks like a Kirby game to me. And then I went back and saw it in HD, and I was like, holy shit, this like literally looks like it was made of clay perfectly, and it looks so good. It looks like the DS game, which I never played, so I kind of want to go play that. Canvas Curse, is that what it was called?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It was good, but like it was very limiting because they had like that one idea, which was like, oh, let's take advantage of touchscreen.
Yeah.
Anything else? Nope. Ship it.
Do you guys remember that Pac-Man game where you draw Pac-Man and then he goes, and that's the whole game? It was like Pac-Pix or something.
Was it called Pac-Man Go or something?
I don't remember the name.
Pac-Pix sounds familiar. I
think that was the name. Like that was literally the whole game. So Smash Brothers had a big showing. You got to see the new Amiibo toys, which is like a weird name, but
I still don't know what's going on.
You don't get the toys?
You know what's going on? They said, hey, Activision has made $2 billion with fucking Skylanders bullshit. We should make toys.
Right. But like with that, you understand the concept, where it's like you buy the toy and the toy comes to life in the game. With this, it's like, yeah, you buy the toy and like you store data on it and you just share it with other games. And
we only really know how it's going to work with Smash specifically, I think, at this point. In that your toy is like an AI controlled figure player that you can fight, and then you level them up.
Okay.
And it's like makes it so you can fight something that's harder than the CPU would normally be. That's my understanding of it.
You level them up by beating them?
Something like that.
Hey, there's games where you level up by hurting yourself, so.
But as far as I know, you don't actually play as the character like you would in Skylanders. But that at the same time, like Mario Kart and a bunch of other games are going to support these toys, so you have to imagine in a game like that you would actually play, like they could do DLC characters or something. But who knows? The toys, the quality wise, the toys look pretty good. So, and they're not blind boxes.
Speaking of toys, I drove by the Hitachi building last night on my way home.
God, I hate you sometimes. The toys look really high quality for Amiibo. Like we saw them up close in person, and like they're at the very least, it's about time Nintendo did like actual, real, legit action figures
instead of janky. Like, here's a piece of plastic that has candy in it. It's Mario. Go buy it. You know, have you seen this?
I used to get tons of Pokemon action figures in Chinatown.
Me too, Steven. What did you guys think of Splatoon? That shooter, it's like a 4 vs 4 shooter where you can be a squid, and you
was
the concept
fun.
Was it fun? I haven't heard like hands-on impressions of it.
Yeah,
it looks cool.
I think Darren is either writing one or wrote a preview, but yeah, no, it's just super fun. Like the whole point is like, you know, it's like you have paintball guns or whatever. You're trying to color the entire playing field your respective team's color, and as you do that, you can swim in that color. And you know, opposite teams doing the same thing, and if you touch their color, you get hurt. They can also hurt you, so you still kill each other and everything. But like the added layer of you trying to control most of the map in order to win is so refreshing compared to just shoot the other team to death a bunch of times.
Plus, you can turn into a squid.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like Nintendo has big plans for it. I think I read an interview with, I think it was Reggie yesterday, and he mentioned as one of his IPs that Nintendo expects to be a system seller for the Wii U.
Really? I mean,
which kind of surprised me.
Okay, well, he works for the company, so
I don't know about that, but like there has been a surprisingly strong, at least in our circles, reaction to that game. Like favorable reaction.
So he obviously does work for Nintendo. The two games he mentioned were Smash Brothers and Splatoon. He could have picked a whole lot of other games.
He could have said Smash Brothers and Zelda.
Maybe he's thinking Splatoon will be like the next TF2.
Maybe
we'll see about that. We'll see. I mean, that's a good goal to have. But.
I think
squid hats and everything.
Here's the thing: I see them pushing Splatoon. They've never had a shooter of any kind before, and when you look at what's the best seller out there, on average, is Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatever. So I think them finally realizing that, okay, well, we need a shooter, but we can't just do a military shooter. We need a Nintendo it up somehow, and here we go.
Oh, man. Ultimate Spider-Man 2 sold pretty well.
I would love to see Nintendo make a military shooter.
We all would.
Advance Wars!
I was just going to say Advance, like, seriously, that would be good.
Fucking Advance Wars.
But going off Hamza's point, they can't count on anyone else to bring their shooters to the system because we've seen like those player counts are so low for Call of Duty. So it's good that they're trying to meet that need for shooters. Yeah, Zelda looks good. We didn't really see much of it though.
You see that mountain in the distance? You could go to it.
I love it. I love it. That's like the classic open world line for fantasy adventure games.
You can go everywhere.
See that mountain? You can struggle to climb it for 30 minutes, and then you get to the top, and it's not worth it.
Though, when it comes from someone like the guy who makes Zelda and everything, I'm more inclined to like. Yeah, no, I totally understand where you're coming from. Like, it's such a PR catchphrase these days, but when someone like Nintendo and the Zelda team say it, I'm like, that's probably gonna be really fucking awesome.
I mean, the expectation, I think, is that it will be high quality, like a high quality world that you're going through, even though it is big. So,
yeah, meaningful parts rather than just scale for the sake of scale.
Yeah, exactly. So that could be good. Link's not a woman, but that's okay.
I don't know why that.
I don't think anyone really cares that much. Because he joked about it, and it's like, when you're going through a translator, this always happens. It's like, I don't know. Venture Beat ran that story in an interview with him, and he was joking, but it wasn't exactly made clear that he was joking.
Ugh.
So
yeah.
I mean, anything else?
Never ever joke to press.
You really should.
Value.
Yeah. I thought Mario Maker looked kind of cool, but it's one of those things where I wish Nintendo had made that a long, long time ago.
Yeah, for real.
But it's kind of the other thing I want to complain about really quickly is that it's not Mario Paint, and apparently it could have been. I don't know. There's some quotes that came out about like they were, because they used a lot of the same elements and like there's the same graphics from Mario Paint in Mario Maker. But
I don't think the audience these days would be too interested in painting.
I agree. It's more of like a nostalgia thing for me than anything. But
yeah, because I mean, you got to remember back in the day, like computers weren't as widespread as they are now, and especially with iPads and everything. That said, did you catch the fly swatter in the Mario Maker trailer?
I did. And like the dog icons in there. And,
oh, is it?
Yeah.
They talked about like you can make music with it, so we'll see what happens with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you guys?
Go ahead, Brett.
I was gonna say, did you guys catch Conker in the Project Spark trailer?
That was probably one of the lowest moments of E3. It was so insulting to fans of the series. Like
it was a real bummer.
I thought that was a good idea.
They're never gonna make another game with me, so I guess it's up to you.
See,
fuck that.
I'm not the biggest Conker fan, But to empathize with people, I imagined that they did that with Banjo and Kazooie, and I would have been so pissed. So like, I totally understand why Conker fans would be annoyed at this.
I think if it was Banjo Kazooie, people would be like fucking
take to the.
They'd have torches. They'd be rioting. I don't know. I think Conker has lost its appeal. Like it used, like they just let him kind of just die too much.
But how sweet of a game announcement would that be if it's like another, just the more Conker? That would have been so good. That's such a that could totally fit with the Xbox brand. I think
that would have been great, but they went the other way with it.
Worst way with it.
Yeah.
Speaking
of the worst things, Gravity Rush 2 at E3.
Okay, so that's a really good point, Steven. Did they talk about? I feel like they didn't talk about any PlayStation Vita games specifically. They talked about the TV, the PlayStation TV.
Yeah, they montaged. They montaged some Vita games, but nothing, and no Gravity Rush 2, and I was pissed.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
I really don't care.
Well, you're not invested in the Vita, Hamza.
I have a Vita.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. I haven't turned it on in months. Although
no Gravity Rush 2, no Medieval 3, no Bushido Blade sequel. Come on, guys.
Those would have all been nice, but I don't know how likely those last two
E3
are.
ruined.
On the whole, though, I thought this was a pretty good E3.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of cool games.
I thought it was pretty light, actually.
Really?
I will say that too, though.
The first
you guys
day,
were there, so I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I mean, after the first day finished, which the press conference day, before the floor even opened, it was like, wow, okay, like that's it. I mean, there were very few new things. Sony, to its credit, was like able to, take credit for most of the new things, like Bloodborne. But there was nothing, there was no like over the top things that matched E3's spectacle. And then as the week went on, I did see some things that, got me a little bit happier about the state of video games. On the second day of the show floor, Metal Gear Solid 5 demo, which was insanely good. And then the last day, I played Alien Isolation, which was insanely good. But as a whole, it was pretty. It felt pretty uneventful.
No, I definitely agree. Like, I mean, there were a lot of cool stuff we got to check out. And I feel like it was more exciting compared to last year, because last year we were so focused on the consoles themselves instead of the games. But you could definitely feel how smaller the show was. Like, especially the South Hall, which is where all the major third-party publishers usually are at.
You go to Konami's booth, and it's literally just a theater to show off Metal Gear Solid and some soccer games, and it's empty. You go to Capcom, and half of their booth is a giant Monster Hunter prop photo shoot. Like, these companies all have the same spaces, typically, year after year, and, like, they were all just empty, like, trying to fill space. Sega was just all Sonic Boom and all Alien.
Disney... What?
Konami was super weird because, like, at least a third of their booth was just red carpet. It was nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, there was no marketing, anything. It was just red carpet.
They also wouldn't let you film their booth.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Oh, well. I can see why.
I have a feeling that Konami probably, or all the companies probably have to pay for their booth space years ahead of time, and if they didn't pony up for that same space this year, they probably would have lost it for next year. So I think that's my guess as to why it was so, sparse.
I feel like that was an issue in years past, but like if you look at it this year, I was like, I don't think that's really an issue anymore. There's a lot of space going forward, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens to E3 the next couple of years with that.
Do you think it's just that these companies, and that's a good point about these third-party companies. Is it just that they're doing more sequels and less new, crazy, exciting things like we would have liked to see, or is the AAA space shrinking? I don't know. It's like fewer games can succeed.
I feel like it's the big companies that are just kind of scaling back, like Konami, Capcom, and even Square Enix. Like they barely had anything at their booth. What the fuck was the most memorable thing there? Rhythm and Kingdom Hearts 2?
They probably had a Realm Reborn, right?
What?
They probably had a Realm
right, yeah,
Reborn,
no,
right?
that was
that
actually,
was probably their main thing.
Yeah, and that game's out. It's like I don't know, like these companies are just doubling down on what their existing properties are instead of just trying anything wild and new. Although I will say that Warner Brothers had probably the best booth at the show and like the most support for new content with Mordor, Witcher 3, Dying Light, Mortal Kombat, and a couple other titles. Like they had probably the best showing and the best booth, I feel like.
And to be fair, if you went to any of the first party booths, well, at least PlayStation and Nintendo, like they were filled with games, and you know, from like the sort of big games that they have, like Smash and whatever, but like just tons of stations where like that's just the one game at that station, and like they couldn't even fit multiples because they had so much. Because that's their new plan for both of them is, you know, diversifying their portfolio. So there's all these smaller games that got like one or two stations, but there's tons of shit to play if you wanted to play games there.
Xbox, same deal. Like if you had to really look for it in the back, but like they had a ton of booths for all their third party and mostly indie titles too. Xbox had a really good indie lineup this year. But yeah, I mean, there was a ton of content there, but it was really jam packed in tight spaces. And it was kind of funny, like walking around the Sony booth, and like there were some stations that were open constantly, like Minecraft. I mean, no one needs to really play Minecraft at a show, but it's just funny seeing how huge of a property that is in the real, you know, life space and everything. And there at E3, the biggest gaming show of the year, no one gave a shit.
Well, I'd be even more weirded out if someone was playing it. There were so many games, like there were games that were out already. Then. There are games that are like have been out for months that people are just sitting there playing, and it's like,
what the fuck's wrong
why are you
with
playing this? What are you doing? You're at E3. Like
the worst for me was that right outside the West Hall entrance, there was a few Twitch TV setups, right, live streaming content. And one day I walked out, and there were people sitting down on the ground in front of these TVs. Outside the hall where Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony are showing new things, and these people were just watching a live stream of some fucking bullshit. I don't even remember what it was. Probably Mortal Kombat or something. But like, what are you doing at E3, sitting around watching a fucking live stream on the ground?
I can't even begin to fathom that. But then again, I don't even like. You always wonder who actually comes to these shows besides press and like people who work for the companies. But
man, that'd be like going to a baseball game and then like sitting out at the concession stand and just watching it on TV. Like,
oh my gosh, yes.
You guys want to talk about our game of the show stuff?
I was gonna, we should probably. This has gone on for a while. We should.
Let's focus on.
We should probably close with that. Yeah. So we did. Hamza posted our best of E3 2014 winners. You can see the nominees as well. So our game of the show was Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. I mean, yeah, kind of to be expected. I
wouldn't say to be expected. There's a lot of good contenders.
There's like two. The other ones I would have said maybe could have made it would be like Witcher 3 or No Man's Sky, but like.
Or Bloodborne.
It's not.
Or Smash.
Yeah, Bloodborne.
Or Smash was really close to getting it.
Really?
Yeah,
good
actually.
For Smash.
But no, there's a lot of good stuff, quality content here this year, but I don't know. Like Steven really summed it up well in the write up on that post, but like about why we went with Metal Gear. But it's what we have grown up with, you know, this long series ever since like the PlayStation 1 era and everything, and they're doing so much new to it that it feels like completely fresh, but it's still, you know, familiar to those people who have grown up and love the series.
Still has the roots of like the just eccentric story. Putting like people's ashes on your face, and I won't scatter your sour to the heartless sea or whatever he said. It's like, this is so weird. I love it.
Yeah.
That trailer was so goddamn good, by the way.
It really was.
That song stuck in my
head. I keep watching
it. It was like 6 minutes, and it was amazing.
That presentation we got to see at E3 will be actually on the internet probably by the time this is on our YouTube channel. So you'll see exactly why we were blown away by the game. But like, just the simple things, even like the amount of freedom you are given as a character now, the fact that like you could pop out of your box in different ways. Over where the old system was like just slowly taking it off. Now you can pop out from the top quickly. You dive out of it. Just simple things like that. Like it's just the amount of freedom people have now to really enjoy and to really be a badass in this game is really cool. What were you gonna say, Steven?
I was gonna mention all the new box moves. Like, there's so much cool shit like that, and that's why it was so just refreshing to see that, because like Kojima still has all these weird ideas and is expressing them with very unique like gameplay mechanisms. You know, it's not just like, oh, this is a quirky game that plays exactly like the other game. It has all these new things, and it's the fact that you can just start ballooning everything back to your base, or if you like balloon something big enough and go on top of it, you'll actually ride it back to your base for a quick escape instead of taking the calling a helicopter in. Like,
it's no wonder that he's continued to just basically do this series, because he can just do so much with Metal Gear that it's like it's probably never boring for him to work on it. But we should probably wrap this up.
Wow, we actually talked for a lot longer than
we did. This one, I had a feeling this would happen. Lots to talk about. So
yeah, lots of cool stuff at E3. Go check out Destructoid.com for all that cool stuff.
You should. My God, you should. There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
But you should definitely look at some of our videos from E3. Find those on youtube.com/Dtoid. If you're, you probably know that, but some of you listen to the audio versions, so there you go.
Yeah, Max Scoville and Bill Zoker did a ton of videos.
I really liked our video coverage this year, so I was happy with it.
And a couple fresh faces too.
What'd you say, Brett?
I said, and a couple fresh faces too.
Yeah, we had new people, and the YouTube audience was surprisingly receptive to them, so I was happy about that too.
They were our buddies from Flixus, our movie sister site. They lent us a hand at E3 this year, so
cool. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
Bye.